Someday, I'm gonna make great machines that fly. And me and my friends are gonna go flying together into the forever and beautiful sky. Lila, and Teeps, and Floor, and me. Rocket.
Yes, that is how I felt watching certain animal-orientated scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, much to my amazement. To ever think a Marvel film could be one of the most emotional films I've seen at the cinema is quite a statement, but one that is very much true. But beyond all the emotion and commotion, there lies some deeper thoughts that really do make this a great film. Worthy of an 8.3 on IMDb? Well, that is for you to decide. But let's take a quick look at some of the meaning in the film that separates this particular movie from other, well, shitty Marvel films. A brief word of warning, spoilers lie ahead. There are, in my humblest of humble opinions, 3 areas where meaning can be found in this film. So let's start with the first, friendship. The Guardians films have often had this subtle notion of unity amongst comrades as a theme for a while now, and it certainly separates the film from the rest of the franchise, and that's without even mentioning its spectacular music selection. But the one scene I really want to focus on is the flashback of Rocket in his cage with Floor, Tooth and Lila. In this scene, we see creatures who have been subject to the most inhumane robotic enhancement experiments, pinned in by 4 walls of cast iron. But despite their confines, they talk of freedom and experiencing the new world. The 4, in part because of their situation, find themselves as friends to one another, and together seem to talk and behave as though they are free. The situation does not bear negatively on their state of mind. In a heartwarming scene, they dance around their cramped cage just as a graceful ballroom dancer might, and all I could think about during this scene was the indomitable nature of Spirit. They are, by all accounts, in a dire, dire situation, but their behaviour very much says otherwise. The similarity here between Viktor Frankl's philosophy and Jean-Paul Sartre's is striking. Frankl's notion of a will to meaning and the desire to find purpose seems as if it is possible to transcend any external state, and that no matter who or where you are, your outlook on things are entirely dependent on you. It would be remiss not to also mention Sartre, and his idea that freedom is what you do with what is done to you. The assimilation of these 2 great minds provides cause for anyone to find a way to live out their current situation, and Rocket and his friend's ability to do so was touching in a way that I almost can't describe. Moving on to less teary-eyed points of meaning, we come to the second philosophical component of the film, the idea of a utopia. Now, I'm not going to get all Marxy on you, but there is something to be said about the flaws in a perfect outlook on life, or the desire for perfection. The scene where the high evolutionary is remarking on the girl whose body is hyper-efficient, mind quick at processing, and spirit perpetually happy is, in many ways, sad. Because the value of someone is not measured by their ability to efficiently perform tasks, and nor are they perfect because they appear permanently happy. In trying to eradicate imperfection, the subject becomes imperfect in and of itself. It is the flaws that provide the value, because as biologically evolved entities, there will always be things we cannot do. No one can be everything, and that isn't a bug of the system, it's a feature of it. We should start taking things for how they are, not how we think they should be. I think this is reinforced by the perfect society that the high evolutionary eventually destroys. Though they may look like human animals, that society was for all intents and purposes effectively our society. Only the meth dealers aren't octopuses. And maybe it's true. For all its flaws, humanity's existence is perfect in its own odd little way. Though it was wholly intentional, in my opinion, that the directors chose the perfect society to be such an accurate representation of our current society. And I think it is this fact that lends credence to the suggestion that humanity is perfect because it is imperfect. And now we come to the final component of meaning that can be found in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, purpose. I think this is by far the most subtle of the 3, though nonetheless it does contribute to some poignancy to the overall movie. We see characters like Drax undergoes some sort of identity crisis when told that he is not a destroyer, but in fact a father. It contrasts with the evolutionary programming that, in a sense, we can build on, or even change course of what we once were, or perhaps even still are. It challenges the idea of biological determinism, and is in a mild way optimistic about our ability to act freely, because sometimes our purpose lies not in doing things for ourselves, but for the sake of others. Guardians 3 is, in many respects, a great film. Though it has its flaws, which will get outlined in my rapid review of the film, the toying of emotions with the involvement of animals makes it a surprisingly great movie to go and see. If you've seen it and have some thoughts of your own, leave them in the comments below, and if you want to stay up to date with further instalments of the Finding Meaning series, then consider subscribing and turning on notifications. And with that all said and done, thank you for watching.